Mortgage demand drops as interest rates hit a 3-month high. So this article comes to us from CNBC. Rates are moving up and application volume fell 4.1% overall. Now, that also includes the refi and purchase activity. And that's according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. So the question, like, oh no, is this the end of the road for buyers? No, not hardly. Mortgage applications were still 17% higher than a year ago. Now, for reference, that's one of the lowest. That's one of the lowest higher than last year's that we've referenced in a long time.
Wait.
Yeah,
let's unpack that. The lowest higher than a year ago. Yeah, because remember at one point they were like 45% higher than a year ago.
Yes.
Now it's the lowest higher than a year ago we've reported in a while.
That we've reported in a long time. Now, I think like 2 years ago when we were doing the show, it was like 6% higher than last year. And we were all like, whoa, that's really cool. Right. But now it's 17%. And we're like, oh, that's so low. All right. So here's a quote from Joel Kahn. Not that Kahn. He's purchase applications cooled the first week of February, but home buyers are still very active. The average purchase loan size continued to increase, reaching another survey high of 402,200. As higher price segments of the home market continues to perform well. Now, here's the key. The higher price segment of the homes have more inventory. So the people that are searching are able to land those homes, while the lower segments that we've talked about ad nauseum over the last 2 years, since the fall of 2016, it's been tight in the low end.
That's a great movie, by the way, The Fall of 2016.
That would be right. So the low end of the market is incredibly slim, and that's forcing first-time home buyers to the sidelines. A number of homes for sale were 43% lower than last year, according to Realtor.com.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, homes sold on an average of 10 days faster than they were last year as well.
Jeez. And we got to remember, these stories are nationally. So in my market, the average days on market is 3 days. Like, it's insane. Right. But in Ray's, which is a traditionally slower market, they usually have 4 to 6 months inventory much more often. I mean, remember when we started the show, your average days on market was 40 years. I mean,
yeah, the average in our area was like 60, and my personal average was less than 30, and that was like a big deal.
Yeah, and I always remember that because that's how you marketed. Like, hey, here's everyone else they're not doing anything wrong. That's just the average. I'm better than average.
Yep.
And now, what's your average? Isn't it like 22 days or something?
It's like the market average right now is in the 20s. My personal average is like in the hours now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I'm sure that's happening a lot to a lot of the agents around the country. We'd love to hear your comments if the same inventory struggles you're finding. And I can't tell. Melissa Mara, she said, I'm just short. That it's how it is. I don't know if she's talking about herself or the inventory, but both are probably short in her area, if I recall.
Yeah. I don't know, because when did we cover this? A week or two ago with the average mortgage. Again, remember, nationally, it's now $402,000. Right. So this isn't California is too expensive. New York's too expensive. Little Rock, Arkansas is too expensive. It's just, those never go together. But anyway, this is a national thing, and the story that I'm going to cover later, it's a national housing crisis, not California, not New York, not Colorado or Central Colorado or whatever.
Let me see if Caleb is by his mic, because I want to bring up the Clubhouse folks so you guys can kind of see how this works too. So Caleb, if you were by, he turned his mic off. All right, what is going on in your market? What's happening?
Well, thanks for the unmic, and my first time here as a member of your room on Clubhouse, the Bearded Men of Real Estate show, and just listening to you both visit. The last comment was, I just went, oh yeah, that, because we're north of California. I'm on the Southern Oregon, in that area, right on the border of California, and I guess that's going to be really related to the California exodus and the market crunch there. But everybody I talk to that's moving there, which they're moving to our area from other places than California. Everybody's in this situation, and so we're a little town of 30,000 in our town and 80,000 in our county, and it's a retirement location on the river, and there are tons of people moving there, and it's not exactly cheap if you're from there and you're trying to buy a house, but it's a lot cheaper than other major metro areas. So we've got that additional crunch in our market, is that people are cashing out big elsewhere and coming to our market, and that's squeezing the prices up, and locals are having to have a harder time doing what they need to with their housing situation. That's where we're at in Southern Oregon.
Well, look, can I ask before I address the exodus from California?
As a Californian,
that actually works in California. But sorry, I'm snarky. I don't mean to be. It just happens when people are fleeing from California. I hear that story a lot, by the way. But anyway, I wanted to ask. So, and it's Caleb.
Yep, it's Caleb.
Cool. What was your average days on market? Kind of how we covered with Ray, like before, I guess, before Rona, and then kind of, and go back like 2 years averaging. Was it kind of mellow at 77 days and now it's 4? Like, what was that looking like?
I do 20 plus deals a year. So, and I provide for my family. I'm the only income earner in our family. So it's not like I'm sitting on my hands, but I don't follow days on market. I know the feel of things. And 2 years ago, at the turn of 2019, prices were up, but it wasn't crazy like this. There were enough houses. The rental market is a different situation that's been bad for like 5 years. But now, really, it hit in August. I couldn't place a buyer without 8 other offers, 10 other offers. And we made 5 offers before we'd get something, and we had to do something creative to win it. And that has created the bigger, the nice thing of when you're representing a seller, which is less days on market. And I don't know what that is compared to 2 years ago, but it's certainly much less.
Different.
They're falling out of escrow though, because I think you're getting buyers are doing whatever they can to get a house, and then they fall out once or twice because of that.
Yeah.
So you do end up getting a few more days on market that way, but it's still much less than it was. I'm sorry, I just can't give you an exact comparison of numbers.
No, it's all good.
So you're seeing an influx. I wonder if you're seeing an influx from people that are still working in California, but kind of moving up that way, I would imagine. But what was your question, Dan?
Yeah. But just I was going to say, and I'm kind of joking about the Exodus thing, but just that you can work remotely, from anywhere. So why not go to a sleepy little town that's on the water and work, from there in California kind of thing. Right. But no, it's interesting. You make the point about, you're good. My daughter's ducking down. I'm like, you're good. We're a family. We're a family show. It's okay.
That's right. A family show. We're all family in this show.
Yeah. The interesting point you make about having to write multiple offers and, things going so quickly, because, I have a couple clients from out of state that are moving here, that are in the $1 million range and a little bit up. And I'm still losing out to people going well above appraisal, and then they're not appraising. That's the thing, is they're not appraising.
Yeah.
They're off by like 50 grand and they're not appraising. And then they're falling out of escrow. So it's interesting that he in Southern Oregon kind of notes that as well.
Yeah, we do have we have a couple more commenters. Mary, I didn't know if you wanted to say something about that topic specifically. If so, just flash your mic. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to bring Mary up now. Mary, tell us where you're from and what's your comment on your inventory.
So I am in the heart of the Exodus. I am in San Diego, California, North County. Been in the business 16 years. And in years past, about 90% of our listings and sellers were moving up, moving down, moving around within either their neighborhood, the community within San Diego County. And right now it has been a complete shift where I would say 90% of our sellers are leaving the state. And the buyers, we're seeing the migration from the Bay Area and Los Angeles coming to San Diego. I would say about 65% of the offers coming in on our listings are people from the Bay Area. They're coming to San Diego for price and weather. And of course, they think our homes are cheap. And it's really driving that price appreciation quickly because of our extremely low inventory. So I just wanted to add a little bit of color onto that there is a mass exodus. And I believe California's governor We call him Governor Gruesome, but I believe Governor Newsom was just named Realtor of the Year in Texas.
Yeah, I did see that. That was like the meme going around. Was Governor Newsom was the Realtor of the Year for Texas, all the Texas influx. But Howard is in Israel, and he joins us in Clubhouse. So this is going to be really cool. So Howard can actually give us an audio comment all the way from Israel. Before you do, Howard, I want to read David Fresquez. He says, most sellers today need brokers who will educate them on other real estate products to build wealth versus buying a bigger primary with their equity. If they actually don't need a bigger house, I think there's totally there's a different spin that you could take on this thing as a whole. So I would totally agree with that. But let me go to Howard. Howard, I'm going to bring you up in Clubhouse, man.
I think I only heard half your sentence, so I got you, so I should open the microphone. Am I right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. First of all, good evening, my dear friends. It's 8:30 in the evening in my part of the world, and I think the inventory is a global thing. It's a Corona. A Rona. Sorry about that, Dan. A Rona problem. I'm finding that the market that I want to work with, which is secondhand homes, apartments. There's just enough good product on the market. Not for the buyers. Sellers are just holding off and they're just waiting and they're not too sure what to do about it. So there's an inventory challenge for me. Just don't have anything fresh.
That's interesting. So I didn't even think about the world market also being short on inventory for maybe some of the same reasons that people are just waiting to sell. So I guess that means that once the vaccination is maybe worldwide, and once that happens, we should see an increase in the inventory, and maybe that would help solve the inventory crisis as a whole. But even before all of that stuff, we were short on inventory a little bit last year.
Right.
We've been short on inventory in the US, I think, since the fall of 2016, which would make a good movie. But
this entire show we started the show to fix the inventory problem, and it's only gotten worse. So I apologize.
You know what the problem is? We've just encouraged so many other people to become real estate agents and improve the skills of selling houses that inventory has not really.
Yeah. People look at me and go, if that dude can be successful. I mean, look at it. He's got a mohawk and a crazy beard and tattoos. If that guy can do this, then.
That's right. So speaking of inventory issues, Melissa Mara, she comments in Facebook. She says, I have people going all over the place. Florida, Texas, North Carolina. Buyers are coming from up north, New York, PAs, Pennsylvania, but that's it. Nothing really new. That's kind of how it happened with us too. We're having a massive influx of people in our state. Every now and then I get a referral out, but I've seen way more people come in than the referrals I send out. Because normally I'd send like 10 referrals a year out, which, by the way, I look for Be More people first. So if you're not in the Be More contributors, you got to join, because that's where I look first. Then after that, I look for some of the experts in the industry.